Welcome to the Power of Your Mind podcast. I'm Victoria Gallagher, your host. Have you been attempting to use law of attraction or hypnosis to attract financial abundance, a soulmate, or career success? Would you like to be happy, motivated, and successful? Have better health, enjoy more fulfilling relationships, overcome struggle, and gain mastery over your life? Then join me on this amazing self-help podcast where you'll unleash the power of your mind. I'll be sharing 20 years of wisdom and techniques of hypnotherapy, law of attraction, visualization, meditation, personal growth, positive affirmations, and other effective methods to help you tap into the great power which resides in your mind and become the best version of yourself. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Power of Your Mind podcast. You're listening to episode number 70. I'm Victoria Gallagher, Law of Attraction coach and #1 best-selling author of Practical Law of Attraction, Align Yourself with the Manifesting Conditions and Successfully Attract Your Desires. I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist, founder of HipTalk.com and HypnoCloud apps. So be sure to stop by HipTalk.com, sign up for your free self-hypnosis video training course. And for our listeners who found us through Power of Your Mind podcast, you can get 35% off your first order of hypnosis downloads when you apply the code podcast to your shopping cart. Also, be sure to download our latest HypnoCloud app in the iTunes store. So today I have two very special guests, two friends with me, Chad and Holly Ogstat. Chad and Holly Ogstat are authors of the Client Attraction Code, having been using the internet for sales and marketing since the early 2000s and have spoken in front of thousands of people. They have put on retreats that people have paid $10,000 to attend. Today, Chad and Holly are going to share some of their insights about harnessing the power of your mind by learning what the 3 things to get $1,250,000 in 12 months in your transformational coaching are, even if you think you suck at marketing. So welcome to the show, Chad and Holly.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been following you guys for quite a while on Facebook, and you seem to have quite a following of people who are studying the coaching, the transformational tools that you guys teach.
Yeah, well, we really work with people that are making a difference out in the world, like yourself, right? People that are throwing retreats and they have coaching and they make deep impacts in their clients, but they aren't the best at promoting themselves, or they're not the best at pricing themselves, or they're not the best at making the sales process where it doesn't suck for everyone, right? Where it doesn't feel pushy and like that thing, right? And so we help people that really make a big impact in the world, create their process where they can attract, enroll, and create systems around their business.
Yes. And you know what? I think it's so timely and it's such a great idea to have you guys on the show because normally, I do deal with transformational people who offer all kinds of mindset type of strategies and tools to help your mind. But you actually provide advice and know-how on how to actually take these actions. So, I think it's really a combination of both. You definitely need the mindset, but you also need the tools and the skills on actually how to attract people into your business. So I think this is really, really timely to have you guys on the show. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So what is it that led you guys into this career of becoming transformational coaches?
Where do we start? Can we start with you? And then we can go, we both have a separate story where we really got into the realm of transformation separately. And it was just a beautiful way that we came together and evolved as a couple and as a business of really working specifically with transformational coaches. So I think for me, I'll just go ahead and start because I'm already going in that flow. But for me, I've always had this vision of speaking to nation and being a stand. I just really feel like, and my whole existence being in this world is to help people with their freedom, healing, and transformation of life. And I've always had a passion for it. For as long as I can remember, I've had this passion. And I actually was an ordained minister. I still am an ordained, which are ordained, still are. I'm not actively a religious or in the church type of person, but and then I became certified in belief therapy, and I would work with people in deliverance sessions. I've actually written a book just on this, of helping people find the lies that they are feeling for themselves and what is ruling their life, and get to the root of that and help them discover the truth of who they really are. And I have helped in women's homes, helping abused women, working in that space for quite some time. And also, I did this stuff for free at the time because it was just my heart. It was just something that I really wanted to do. And meanwhile, to pay the bills, I went into marketing. I went to college for marketing. I would help local businesses put their business, the internet was just kind of coming out and people were just starting to learn how to use it back in 2004. So I would help businesses put their business online. Meanwhile, on the side for fun, not for fun, but just because it was just something I was very passionate about, was helping people find freedom and healing in their life. And that's something that has always been my greatest fulfillment in the world is, how can I help people find that and help them find their freedom and really be in their power and their purpose. So moving forward very quickly is, I got into this realm of working on my own. I got very sick. I ended up losing my job of being in the corporate. I was vice president of a marketing company at the time.
Wow.
I was doing this. And I was literally in the hospital bed. They told me that I may never walk again. And I needed to, this was going to be my life, just go on disability. And I instantly, actually, that was the first time I was ever introduced to The Secret and the law of attraction. And I was just thinking there's no way that's not my life. I'm going to get through this. And I would literally, walk visions of my head of walking and doing cartwheels on the beach and, running through fields in my head. And it took, I'm not saying it took right away, but it took a few years, about 5 years, I started walking again.
That is beautiful. Oh my goodness. I love that. I love that.
So I literally went from 216 pounds to about 150 pounds. Running, walking, doing yoga every single day, completely transformed my life in so many ways. And I knew that that's what I wanted to do with other people. I wanted to help them get that real quantum transformation and healing in their life. And that's kind of when I met Chad. And our business, so it's always I never knew how to quite. I was just to give the puppies away, right? Or when you said in the beginning, help them figure out their pricing. So this is literally something that I've walked through the journey of quite a few years to be able to discover on my own. Or, I'm still discovering, having new breakthroughs all the time. But partnering with Chad, very, very business, very, got an incredible gift in that realm of attracting and really having powerful conversations. Helping people through money blocks and coming up with that. So as we created our business together, at first it was an agency, and that was just miserable for me. I'm like, this is not in my purpose. We were working with everybody. I felt like I was waking up every day and working a job and I hated it. And so it wasn't until we went to an event. Some of our clients were coaches. They were business accelerators. There were people who were really making a difference in the world. And Steve Farber said something very profound, simple but profound. It was do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. And it was just like a light bulb when I saw our clients who were coaches and they were having success. And it was more than just helping. The results that we gave them was not only money in their pocket, but it was other people's lives were transforming. Everything shifted for me. And it shifted for Chad too. We were very aligned in this. And we were like, we want more of that.
Yes. And I think that you brought up the key thing here, and that is, originally you said, you were originally doing it for free and you were just loving it. And, and no one should work for free, but it should be work that you would do for free because you love it that much. So I love that. Absolutely. So many people think that they need to be in some kind of career that they hate, and I don't know where that idea originated, but so many people walk around thinking that it needs to be hard, or it needs to be you can't actually do what it is you love. And I have kind of a gift of of helping people to figure out like an angle, whatever it is. I mean, I don't care if it's puppies and kitty cats and butterflies. There's an angle, there's a way to work that into your life and enjoy doing whatever you want to do.
Totally. And Chad's been super instrumental in that. Is one of the reasons I connected with him so much is he's such a stand for transformation in the world as well. He introduced me to Landmark Worldwide, and he's been such a stand for transformation in people. I think that's really what brought us together and had such a synergy to be together, was his passion for transformation.
Yeah, and so my background is I was doing using the internet to sell air filters in the early.
I just bought 2 air filters on Amazon last night.
Right there. And so I called thousands and thousands of leads. So I learned to talk to people and enroll them without being pushy. But it was so overwhelming and burned out because I had to call thousands of people to make a few sales, right? And so I literally got to a point where I had my head on this desk. I'm like crying. I'm depressed. I wasn't moving forward in my business. And I was like done. And I stopped doing that. And I was like basically in a hole of depression for 2 years. And I finally found somebody that could help me pull out of that. And at that point, I was starting to get some confidence back and started like being okay with myself. So I had to go get a job. And so I went and got, the only thing I really could get was door-to-door sales because I had no experience in jobs. And so I went into sales for off and on for about 6 years. Basically I'd go make a bunch of money and then I wouldn't work for 3-4 months and I'd make a bunch of money and then I wouldn't work. But I ran sales offices, I did this, and I really learned how to enroll, how to do all this without being super pushy, as little pushy as I could. But I knew I didn't want that as a life. Because I remember sitting there listening to a guy, and he was making $80,000 a month, which I thought was amazing at the time. But he was working six days a week, and he had to drive 2 hours one direction to work every day. Yeah. So 4 hours of driving, 6 days a week. And and I'm like, this is not, even if I like get to his point of this is like the best I could get. And I'm like, I need to get out of this and I need to move forward. So, and I'd seen people make money on the internet and the whole laptop lifestyle, and I was like, is this really real? And I ended up quitting, and I actually launched an internet business from a hotel room. I was actually in Florida when I did it. I'm originally from Michigan. It was a kind of a mercenary. I'd go to different states and sell for people that needed salespeople. And so I was kind of stuck in a different state and had to make enough money on my internet thing to get home. And so luckily I was able to make enough to get home. And then about 6 months later, I was able to have a major breakthrough, $4,000 a day, and then was able to become a top marketer in this affiliate company, and then started speaking on stage with them. And then I was like, this isn't fulfilling me anymore. It was for money, and I have the freedom stuff, and that's cool, but I wasn't fulfilled. So I wanted to start doing my own events, started doing events, and then I sold a retreat for $10,000 in the Dominican Republic. That was amazing. And people had some major breakthroughs there. But I wanted more, and I knew I couldn't do it alone because, it was, putting it all together was, crazy. I didn't have that skill set, and I was like, how can I attract somebody that's way more organized and better than me? And so somehow I found the most amazing business partner and life partner and amazingness ever. And she didn't even talk about how she's done sales funnels for people like Grant Cardone, and that's done tens of millions of dollars. And how she's done.
I just talk about my free stuff that I'm passionate about. I just traveling the world on cruise ships and doing high-level funnels for very high-level coaches. I guess, that's an area.
Well, I love that. I love how, number one, you listened to your intuition and you followed where you weren't feeling fulfilled, and you realized, oh my goodness, something needs to change. And you just, we have these high dreams that but you allowed yourself just to say, okay, well, I need to at least manifest the money to get home. And then I need to manifest just to make a living. And then I need to manifest, because sometimes it can be a little bit too much to take on, to say, right now, like we're talking about, well, how do we get a $250,000 business going? And I'm pretty sure the part of the steps is to break that down and chunk that down into more believable, conceivable sizes as you go along.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because we've had people say, like, oh, well, like, most people either want to go to 650 or, like, 7 figures, and it's like, oh, that's kind of a weird space to be at, but it's very different to build your business up to 250 and then from 250 up to $1 million. And I think it's unrealistic for people to go from, like, I'm just getting started and I'm going to make $1 million in 12 months. And so to chunk it down where it's, and I think we both used to do, like, go way high. Like, we're going to make
10 million next year.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. This time, even though it didn't happen last year or the year before that or the year before that or the year before that or the year before that, this time it's going to be different. I'm not going to do anything different, but keep the dream the same.
So really getting into, like, the 3 things you need to get to 250K in your transformation coaching. Number 1 is attracting your clients, and it's different, right? So people talk about these things as like a one thing. I want more clients, but they think that just has to do with attracting. But it's really a multiple step thing, right? So first, you have to be able to attract. And so attract is, the first part of attracting is really getting your messaging down and really getting clear on who are you speaking to, who's your perfect client. We talked about that. Maybe we need to, like, up the level of person that you're, attracting. And so how can you get your messaging? We just got off a call with a client, and we're helping him set up his program. And we're like, your perfect, absolute, like, in the box, like, person making multiple 6 figures and, like, this and that is not going to be every client. You're never going to nail that down so good that they are only going to show up. You can kick people out that are way out of the box just by, qualifying, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But really is just getting clear on who that perfect is. And we talk about it then in 3 things. You got to have what you do creates the biggest impact with these people.
If you find value in this personal growth related material, I strongly recommend that you sign up for your $1 trial to my Personal Growth Club. Just head on over to personalgrowthclub.com and get a whole month of premium Personal Growth Club video training materials, meditations. You also get 6 free hypnosis sessions that are valued at over $174, all for this trial of just $1. Even if you cancel, you can keep the 6 hypnosis sessions. That's my gift to you, and that's how confident I am that you are going to love Personal Growth Club. Go to personalgrowthclub.com and start your $1 1-month trial today.
Right? This group. Right. So figure out that group.
Right. So you're matching this person to, like, this is the person that I can serve the best.
Yes. So that's number 1. Number 2 is who, and if you circle that out of that group, who's the people that you love to work with?
Oh, yes.
Right. We love working with people that are transformational, NLP masters and, ontological, like, just super high level people that can really make a huge difference in clients. and that are getting results, right? That are getting results with their people. And so, like, we love working with that. But it's also a personality thing in the sense of we have, like, made a rule in our business. If we don't want you to come over for dinner, we don't want you to.
I love it. I love it. I mean, because then, you're actually spending time all the time doing what you love. You shouldn't work with people you're kind of being fake and inauthentic if you have to put on a show and then you're not really being true to who you are, and you're probably at some level not serving that person as well. Somebody else, that's going to be an ideal client for somebody else. There's somebody for everyone. So I love that. If we wouldn't have them over for dinner, they're not our ideal client.
Yep. And then the next one is, do they actually have some resources to invest in? What you really want to aim for is your high-end program, not your low stuff, right? You aim high at that target, and you're going to get around it. Instead of, like, if you aim low, you're always going to end up low.
Right. And you know what? It's interesting that you point that out because, like, I have some experience in funnels and internet marketing and understanding the ideal client. But what you're talking about is, the beginning of the journey, you're not asking them for, the $10,000 sale. You're asking them to take a small piece of that. But you need to know that this person has the resources available to where your dream client is, where your vision for your dream client is. So that's a really, really good point.
Yeah, and so we don't really have, like, to go through, because there's 9 essentially out of the 3. So there's 3 if you could picture.
There's 3 things, and then 3 things that you need for that.
Yeah,
each one of those things.
We'll just touch on them. So the next one is building your tribe, building a community that is people of your perfect people, like taking those perfect people and putting them into a tribe and feeding them, which is the next one, is with something we call FYA content. It's content that attracts, it overcomes objections, and it builds deep rapport with people. So then by the time they get off the call with you, or before they get on,
before they even get on the call with you, they're like, yeah, I need that person.
Yes.
Right. And so the goal is, you're doing something right when they're messaging you, saying that I think I need you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The content that you're putting out and how you're putting your tribe and the messaging that you're putting out there. So it really, all of these encompass the attract piece of this whole thing.
Okay, so attract. We're still on number 1. So it's all about the attract who, the up level being clear, the tribe, the content. All of that's in that first piece.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Because I know we're kind of limited on time. We go a whole hour in itself on just
the one thing. I can see that, absolutely. Wow, this could be really valuable to have some coaching with you guys.
Yeah, thank you. That's what we shoot for.
And I think it's wonderful having you guys on this show because I know a lot of NLP and hypnotists out there, and a lot of people they look at me and they say, oh, I love what you do, I love your marketing and stuff like that. But you know what? I learn it from people like you, so might as well just go right to the source of people who can really, really help you. And because all of us, who are doing this kind of thing and marketing ourselves, we all have coaches and people that we turn to. So you're the ones.
Totally.
Cool.
So the second piece of all this is enrolling. So you can attract all the people you want. If you're not enrolling them, then it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Right? So part of the pieces of the enrolling piece is really having your signature program. So there's a lot of hypnotists, a lot of NLP specialists, there's a lot of life coaches, there's a lot of transformational people out there online. It's a growing industry. Everyone wants to do their business online. By having a signature program, what that does is that separates you from everybody. There is not one person that has what you have in the way that you're able to deliver it.
Would you say that is sort of like, in a way, like an indoctrination process, that your signature program is sort of indoctrinating them into your way of teaching? Or how would you define enrollment?
So enrollment is really, okay, so we'll get into more of the conversations. First, you got to qualify them, and then we'll get to that. But signature program is your maybe 3-month program, or your 6-month program, or but what it is something unique. It's offering maybe some digital content, maybe offering some, hypnosis sessions that are going in. Maybe it's offering a weekly coaching. Maybe offer a little bit of one-on-one in there, like on a monthly basis or something. But it's a package that's unique to you, that there's a specific result that this program is going to get you, and you're essentially is going to, so that you're basically going to package it in a way that's going to overcome objections, because they're going to look at it and go, wow, there is nothing else out like this. This is going to help me. I can't even quantify how much this could be worth to me. Right? Is when you can actually put it together in a way where it's like, wow, this could be $10,000 or this could be $2,000, and I can't really tell, because it really depends on the person that you're offering it to, and that's why it goes down to that profit. If it's more valuable to somebody that has a little bit more money or more resources to work with. So you can create a unique program, and when it's angled to the right person, it's worth way, way, way more.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, something that is tailored for that particular person. I mean, it's going to mean nothing to somebody else who is, if you're a doctor and your program is geared for the internet marketer or the hypnotherapist, it's not going to mean anything to a doctor. But if you get your right person in front of this thing, it's invaluable.
Yeah.
Yes. Something that I like to refer, something very easy to kind of understand too, what an offer is so you could have your phone, and you're going to sell your phone, and maybe your phone's like $500 or whatever. Let's just say it's an R8 phone. So you're going to go sell this phone for $500. Here's my phone.
Yeah.
Right? But if you were to sell...
It's a commodity. You could just get it anywhere.
Yeah. But if you were to take this phone and say, I have all of the all the meditations, like hypnotherapy, I have all of these downloads, you're going to get this app that's on this, it's going to help you do this, this, and this, and you start adding the things that are on the phone, it's not a $500 phone anymore.
Exactly.
It's a lot more, right? So it's packaging things up together where it has a lot more intrinsic value, and it also takes away the competition from anything else. You can't get it anywhere else. You can't.
It makes it completely unique. I love that. I remember when I learned that through a particular 30-day challenge I went through. You might be familiar with it, and it was that I loved learning that lesson, because so many people sell service. Well, as specifically, and I just want to address this, specifically hypnotists and NLP people. How much are your services? How much do you charge for a session? Oh my God. I cannot even tell you how annoying that question is. Or when hypnotists say, how much should I charge for my session? It's like, you shouldn't even be thinking about how much other people charge for their sessions. What do you do? What do you provide that is unique and different? And who do you serve that is unique and different, so that you're not in a competition? This isn't about, there's no way to compete with what you have, and that's where you want to, that's the offer place that you want to get to.
I'll just go a little bit deeper in this, and then we'll kind of move on. But
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm dragging you guys out a little bit.
We had a client, Christine, and she does quantum
hypnosis healing.
Yeah, and so what she was offering per sessions, and I was like, we could sit down and literally put together a program. This is what you get. You get one of these every 3 months, and then you get group coaching in between that. Plus, before you even do a session, there's pre-recorded training, so then they can get them set up. Because her calls were 4 hours long, but most of it was all this pre-stuff. So she had recorded training before this stuff, and then package it as one big thing. She could charge $5,000 or something much, much, much higher. We didn't end up moving forward with it, but it's just the point of if you can take coaching and hypnosis and like some pre-recorded stuff, package it all together, boom, you sell it, and now you can get $2, $3, $5, $10,000 for a program instead of
$200 sessions.
300.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Yeah, I mean, like as a skill, I'm trained as a hypnotherapist, but most people don't even think of me that way anymore. They think of me as the law of attraction expert.
Yeah.
And the things that I've specialized in and that I've chosen to package up uniquely different. So I love that you're bringing that up, that you need to have your own unique offer.
Yeah. So that's definitely a piece in the enrolling. The next piece important in the enrolling process is to be able to have conversations with people. A lot of times people want to go and just like, hey, here's my program. And they don't actually qualify them or like have a conversation with them. And so that's when it starts getting very salesy. It makes people uncomfortable on both sides.
You're pushing instead of attracting.
Mm-hmm.
That's super good at that. So
actually, I want to give that is Holly is the expert at pulling people's stuff out of their head and like put it into a program. It's ridiculous. Like,
it's probably my favorite part of it.
Yeah, well, she's also the amazing. She worked for a guy. She was his operations manager, and he would come to her and say, I need a course by Monday, and she would put it together in like a day, like a few hours, and just boom. And she does that for her clients all the time. But yeah, so in as far as qualifying, it's really just how do you, make sure that people are going to be a good fit for your program. Are you going to make the biggest impact? Are you going to, all these things on them? And so qualifying. The next one is really having converting conversations. And really, this is where the enrolling kind of ends, in the sense, or not ends, but in the sense of it brings them through a process and asks them questions to make sure, so this is when you're actually on a call and you're interviewing instead of selling.
Mm-hmm.
Really just, so why do you feel like you could get the best out of our program? Or like, what makes you think that, or like whatever, the questions that you're going to have, unique questions. We actually have a framework for our clients that they create their own questions so that they can answer. Our client Seth, he's 2 for 2 so far. He's only been in our program, but one of them was a $70,000 consulting package that he sold, and the other one was a smaller package, but like literally like 3 weeks in, he's already closing people. It's been amazing.
That is amazing. Yeah, I was literally just getting ready to ask you what kind of results your clients have been getting from you. But so let me summarize those 3 things. The summary is, we've only been on 2. See, it always feels like we're, there's so many layers inside of these 3 things. So what is the third thing? Because I had it as a tractor ideal client as the first thing. Offers is the second thing.
So that's actually in the enrolling process.
That's in the enrolling process. Okay, so offers is part of enrollment. So learning enrollment, and having learning how to have the right conversations is part of the enrollment process. Got it. Okay, so traction, enrollment, and
transformation. There is, we have this, obviously we work with transformational people, and there's always transformations to be made in our life. So the transformation piece has 3 things that really encumber the transformation piece. In order to get to 250K, you need to be a master of your time and not let time be a master of you.
Mm-hmm.
So we are big into the time management piece and being masters of our time. Yep. So that's the first one. The second piece of the transformation is to be able to kind of run through these, is to be able to have the breakthroughs. A lot of times people are stopped by perfection. There's self-doubt.
Afraid to get out there.
Afraid to charge. They're stuck per session or for one-on-one or whatever their thing. So it's a whole transformation in the way of thinking that we need to make sure that our clients aren't stuck on themselves. Like that's the number one thing that all people, no matter what niche, whatever it is that you're doing, the number one thing that stops people from really moving forward is themselves.
Even the real, they're like masters. We have people that are in our program that are masters at what they do, right? Because we work with people that make a huge impact, but they're still getting in their own way. And
yes. Oh, yes.
Always still
always,
like onions.
Yep.
And like, what are some of the, I mean, you know, because I was just doing a transformational weekend this weekend. It seems like, you know, perfectionism is like a huge thing, or people like, they just don't feel like they know enough yet, even though they've been studying this stuff for the last 20, 25 years, they still need to go back and learn more.
Yeah, it's really can what you do right now make a difference?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have an obligation to go out there and do that, right, at a high level and deep, right? That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and you know, you may only be one step ahead of the game, but if you're a step ahead of that person, you can help that person.
Yeah. And a lot of times, too, depending, you know, everyone has their own things that get them stuck. But a lot of, you know, not a lot of times, 9.99% out of 10 people, is really the stories that they tell themselves from something that's happened when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Really coming up with the root of where did this even come from? And what have you been telling you? You know, a lot of times we're being run by little 3-year-olds who had some sort of hurt that made them feel like they have to have everything perfect or they're wrong, right? So it's getting to the root of things. I believe they're getting to the root of things, pulling it out, and replacing it with the truth of who they really are.
Hello, this is Victoria Gallagher. I hope you're enjoying listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast. As a way of thanking you for listening, I'd like to offer you a one-time discount of 35% off your first order at hiptalk.com. Just go to hiptalk.com and enter the code podcast in the discount code area in your cart, and you'll receive 35% off your first order. Thank you so much for listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast. Yeah, well, just from what you've explained to me so far, so the attract, the enrollment, and the transformation, and the layers that you go into each of these processes, these things that you need to have in order to get to that level, I can absolutely see how a person could have those breakthroughs into the next level of success. So it sounds like you guys have put an enormous amount of thought and dedication into really just figuring out, like, not just slapping a program together, but just understanding like what it is that is going to actually create real results for people. So
yeah,
how about that? And so what are some of those real tangible results that you have been creating with people?
So one last thing, because we got into two, is leverage. So it's systems, automation, those type of things. Because you can't really have a freedom business. Because it's freedom, impact, and income, right? And so if you can't have all three of those without having automation, without having systems.
That's so true.
Put all those foundations and those enrollment things into a system. And so that's the last part of transformation. But the results that we've had, so we've had a client, Amber, she was an integrated health professional that came in. She's an offline coach. She was crushing it offline. When she tried to come online, was losing clients, like 70% of her clients. She came and found Holly and made friends, and she came into our program. She ended up signing. We doubled her prices. She was charging $17,000 for the year. We jumped her up to $33,000. And she closed $138,000 in signed contracts in 6 weeks. We had Ryan. He's
actually working a job.
He's working a job in recovery, working with people that are in recovery and in rehab.
Mm-hmm.
And, but he really wanted to work with people that have been sober for longer to help them have their purpose in their life, or help them find their purpose in their life.
Oh, wow. See, that's a very specific niche.
I know, and he's crushing it. So he literally came to our program, and he signed, as we know, because he's moving so fast, that the last time we talked to him, it was 10 clients, and he's closed $11,000 worth of clients. He was just kind of getting started, never had a coaching program, and he's 5x his money that he makes in this job in 5 weeks.
Oh my goodness. That is crazy. That is crazy. And, I know that a lot of people listening to this are going to like hear these large numbers like, well, going from 17,000 to 35,000, and they're telling themselves like, oh, I couldn't possibly charge that much. Like, so
the program was only, it started off at $500,
mm-hmm.
5 of those, then he doubled it to 1,000, and then I think he sold 3 or 4 of those,
mm-hmm.
and now he's getting people reaching out to him to do one-on-ones. He's charging $1,500 for, and so his plan is to sell that out and then double it to 3,000, and then sell out the next 5 spots in his group program, and then double that to 2,000.
And with Amber, how we doubled her, 17, we raised it to 33. We also, back to that signature offer, how important that was. Yeah. We added a lot more value to, pay you good, individualized meal plans. She sectioned off where, each quarter it wasn't just about food, but it was also about meditation and giving them structure. So it's all in that program and that offer and that value that you're putting in. So we didn't just like, hey, raise your prices.
Right. There's much more to that.
Not going to take a ton of your time. That's going to give that much more transformation with your clients.
Yeah, and she was a master, right? So Amber was a master of what
she's actually going in for.
Yeah, she's a master at what she does now. Ryan just got started, just was really good at dealing with these people and helping them through their stuff, and saw a gap in the market, and really just brand new, fresh, jumped in, right? Now we have Seth. He's our newest case study. He was a consultant and wanted to launch a coaching program outside of that, and he got in right away and closed a $3,000 client right off the bat. That was like the first week he was in, and then he got a consulting gig that was 3 months and some back pay that they owed him. Just getting really clear on his messaging, and they were like, we want you back, and we're going to pay you what we owed you. And that was about $70,000. So
he's had people reaching out to him. He said he has 2 people before. We just did a call with him earlier today. Like 2 people, hey, I think I need you.
Wow.
So he's got more up, and another consulting person who's reached out to him. And he even said in his interview, and I'm like, oh, this is incredible.
That's got to be a good feeling knowing, that you've helped these people just to get their message out more and get paid what they need to get paid and, to reach more people. I mean, it's not just about, getting paid more, but it's like, if, you deserve that and you need to be able to get your message out even more. And the more people you serve, them,
Yeah. The more money you make, the bigger impact you can make.
Bigger impact you can make.
And we start with people where they are, right? We've had clients that, she came in, she was doing kind of the piecemeal, like her thing, and we helped her create a program. It was $1,500, and that was where she was comfortable, and now she sold a few of those, and it's awesome. And so there's a bunch of other people. These are just kind of like the really, really like good, like
top 3.
The top 3 results.
We don't have hours to talk about it.
Right.
So what kind of clients do you typically work with that get the best results with you?
People that are making a huge impact in their life, in people's life. That's really a deal, like a thing. If you're making an impact with your clients, then we want to work with you. Another thing is really just, they have to be okay with imperfect action. Mm-hmm. They have to be okay with taking action without like trying to make everything perfect.
Oh, yes. Because there's a lot of perfectionists out there, and that can just take so much time. And I mean, you could spend weeks perfecting something and not getting it out there. So I like that you said that taking imperfect action.
Yeah, Holly had a mentor that his slogan was "Imperfect action makes you rich."
Yeah. Shirt, coffee mugs. I mean, I got a Giancarlo Badazza is his name. I got to give him props for that. That's something that he really ingrained in me as I was working with him. Imperfect action makes you rich, Holly. got to go out there and safely do it. And
yeah, that's one of the lessons that I wish I would have learned way early on in my career, because I was just really, kind of a slow growth person, because I always had to make sure that everything was perfect. And some things would take years before I brought them to the market that I'd been working on in the background, that probably I could have gotten the ball rolling in months. And so it really can suck a lot of your time. So I'm, really glad to hear you talking about that, because I think that could help a lot of people to understand that it's not about having it perfect, just getting yourself out there.
So another thing is coachable. So being coachable, because we work with experts and we give you an expert in your thing, right? But you're mostly not an expert at marketing and in enrollment and systems, right? You might be good at one of those three, but like really finding somebody that is a transformational coach that's really amazing at all three of those is very challenging, and you just don't see it much unless it's Tony Robbins. He has his team, right? So it's most people really are going to suck at one of those, and if you're open to knowing, yes, I do suck at one of those, and I really need your help in this one in a big way, probably two of them at least, and if we can, just being open to that, and being yes, I do need help, right?
Being open, being coachable, I like that. What if someone comes to you and, it sounds like, they might have to, make a lot of changes to their website or their opt-in forms or their email and things like that, but they're just not a very technical oriented person?
So Amber didn't even use a funnel.
Okay.
Or have a website. So
neither did Seth.
Yeah, neither did Seth. Or Ryan. Really, none of our clients really get to that point. Seth has a funnel, but he was running traffic to it and it wasn't working because he didn't have all this other stuff down. Mm-hmm. Right? And so there was actually a hindrance because he was wasting a bunch of money on ads and spent a bunch of money on funnels and all this stuff, and none of it was working.
So if people are having tech challenges with getting all of this together and perfect and having all of their stuff, you don't even really need all of that stuff until much later. So go out there and start getting clients.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes, the tech stuff can just be just a tool for procrastination, kind of gives you a little wall that you...
Not anti-funnel, right? I've done very high-level funnels. I absolutely love systems and automation. I just see so many coaches out there trying to do, get that stuff done first, instead of just going out there and talking to people and getting their messaging. I think if anything is the most important piece to get started with, it's not your funnel. It's messaging.
Yes, getting the message out there.
Yes, and having conversations with people. Once you have all of that down and you really understand your people and you really understand what they want, and you've gotten clients and technical stuff isn't your thing, but you're ready, you know that you need that, well, you've gotten clients, and hiring someone who's good at it is maybe a better option for you. And it's not a thing to hire them.
Yeah, because you got money to fire them.
Making clients, or you have clients and money coming in already. So
right.
You don't want technical things to hinder people from going out there and really speaking their truth and transforming people's lives, and should never get in the way, ever.
So tell me about, what if someone has never used the internet for coaching before?
Awesome. Those tend to be the people that get the best results. Like Amber never used the internet. We've had several clients that are not tech savvy. They just come to us because they want to transition online, and so we teach them a very simple framework to just go out there and get clients. You just need to follow directions, right? You can follow.
He's not he was not internet savvy, but he didn't like Facebook.
He definitely didn't like Facebook.
Yeah,
but he's gonna crush Facebook. Just now you laugh at him a little with him.
Yeah, I think that's part of the people that we can impacts
the most,
honestly, are the people who are not internet savvy and haven't had a lot of experience online.
You just have to be open to learning.
Yes.
If you're open to learning, I don't care if you're Amish and you're trying to come online for the first time. Like, get yourself to the Apple store and they'll show you how to use a computer, right? And then we can go from there.
Exactly. And it's just another tool, but really this is, you're teaching the fundamentals and helping people to grow to that 250. And you say you can do that in 12, was it 12 months? 250 in 12 months. Well, this is
in 3 months, I'm guessing.
probably more like 3 months. I love that. That sounds awesome. Well, you guys, you guys are really on a roll here with your clients and helping them to take their businesses to the next level. And I sure hope that somebody here that's listening to Power of Your Mind podcast will look you guys up. And you guys are giving away a free strategy worksheet where you can start to kind of work through some of these questions yourself and figure out where you're at in this process. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we're actually we have a whole training put together. I know that we covered a lot of things and it was like the 3 things, but then the 3. So we have a team that's going to help you, whoever's listening to this, really decipher what your 3 things are, because the things that someone else might need is not the same 3 things that you need. So this exercise is really going to help you establish the 3 main things that you need to focus on right now to be able to help you build momentum and start getting on the right path of that 250 mark. Even if you suck at marketing, the whole shebang. So we have the training that also comes with a worksheet for you to be able to go along with the training, so that you can specifically figure out what those 3 things are for you.
Yeah, it's really going to take kind of what we talked about on here with the attract, enroll, and transformation, and make it visual, so you can actually see what the hell we are talking about, and actually
you're going to see it and you'll be like, oh my gosh, got it.
You're going to be able to rate yourself on a scale of, and really see where you're missing. What's the missing? Where is your messaging? And we're going to go deeper into each one, and it's going to be much, much more clear to you on what is not working maybe in your business and what's keeping you from that $250K a year. And really, if you hit those higher, if you have a higher grossing, like a higher revenue product, it can be way more than that. This is really for like a 5K, so 3K, program, 250 for sure, all day long. Or anything higher than that, you could go bigger if you have it, right? And so if you want to check that out, you can go to quantumimpactcoaching.com. Yeah,
quantumimpactcoaching.com. And I'll make sure that I put that in the show notes so you can click it. So it's quantumimpactcoaching.com.
Correct.
Very good. Well, if you are a transformational expert in your field and you are not yet making $250K, then you definitely need to do yourself a favor and get that worksheet so that you can figure out where you're at and what's maybe been missing, and see if Chad and Holly can help you to take you and your business to the next level.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for all the information. It's been wonderful. And I just want to thank you again for being a guest on Power of Your Mind podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with your friends. And once again, be sure to subscribe to the Power of Your Mind podcast if not already. We can be found as Hip Talk on all our social media accounts. So like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, and sign up for your free self-hypnosis video training course at hiptalk.com. Be sure to subscribe to the Power of Your Mind podcast, and you'll be instantly notified the moment the next podcast becomes available. Also, please be sure to leave a rating and a review to tell us how you're enjoying these episodes, and that way you're making a contribution toward others getting to share in this valuable information. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. You've been listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast, brought to you by HipTalk.com, Personal Growth Club, and HypnoCloud apps available at iTunes.